The authorities have recognized Haruka Weiser as the individual discovered deceased in Waller Creek on the University of Texas campus on Tuesday morning. A freshman at the institution, 18-year-old Weiser was pursuing studies in theater and dance. The Austin Police Department reports that Weiser fell victim to an assault, experiencing what University President Gregory L. Fenves characterized as unthinkable brutality.
This is a tragic day for our University of Texas family. We mourn the loss of one of our own, Haruka Weiser.
Originally reported as missing to the University of Texas at Austin Police on Monday morning, Haruka Weiser, a native of Portland, Oregon, was discovered deceased the following morning at 10:46 a.m. Despite the immediate identification of her body, the first on-campus murder since Charles Whitman's tower shootings in 1966 prompted the University of Texas at Austin President Greg Fenves to call for an augmented police presence. 40 additional officers, drawn from the Department of Public Safety and Austin Police Department, were deployed, and this heightened security persisted until Wednesday evening, when the Austin Police Department assumed the role of lead investigators. Weiser's family was informed of her death on Wednesday, and it wasn't until Thursday at 11:30 a.m. that Fenves publicly disclosed her identity. Haruka Weiser, a 2015 graduate of the Arts and Communications Magnet Academy in Beaverton, as stated by Principal Michael Johnson, was part of the school community from grade 6 to 12. Faculty and former classmates at the Magnet School became aware of her disappearance on Wednesday. Haruka Weiser was a member of Dance West, a student dance troupe that regularly performed with the Oregon Symphony a few times each year, according to Jelaine Stites, the group's director. Stites also mentioned that Weiser had received a full dance scholarship, the largest ever awarded to a graduate of the Arts and Communications Magnet Academy, as she pursued her studies in Austin. Haruka Weiser participated in the Portland Ballet through its master's and curriculum programs from 2013 to 2015. Additionally, she harbored aspirations of entering the field of medicine, contemplating the possibility of becoming a doctor or pursuing another scientific path, as revealed by a family member to the Austin American-Statesman. Haruka Weiser first caught the attention of the Texas University in 2014 when she performed with Dance West at the National High School Dance Festival in Miami. Faculty members began recruiting her immediately, as noted by Fenves. Apart from her involvement in dance, Weiser had declared a major in Premed and had intentions to visit family in Japan during the upcoming summer. She is fondly remembered as a beloved daughter, sister, and friend. Despite Haruka's love for performing on stage, she never actively sought the spotlight in her everyday life. Perhaps the last thing she would have desired is to become the poster child for any cause. And yet, as we grapple with the perplexity of why she was killed, if her death can contribute to making it safer for a young woman to walk home, preventing another assault or murder, then at least we could derive some meaning behind an otherwise senseless and tragic death, expressed her family.
At this time, we do not know the identity of the suspect, and we will definitely need the support of our community.
The individual suspected in the murder of 18-year-old University of Texas at Austin student Haruka Weiser was apprehended on Friday, thanks to tips provided by witnesses who contacted the police. Weiser, discovered deceased in Waller Creek on Tuesday, April 5th, was identified as the victim of assault after having gone missing 2 days earlier.
Firefighters realized that on Monday they responded to a call at that location, and that the individual they were seeing on that video strongly resembled the suspect that we were looking for.
Michael Kreiner, 17 years old, was taken into custody on first-degree felony murder charges. Specifics regarding the cause of death or motive were not immediately available. The following timeline outlines the sequence of events. As per the arrest affidavit, incorporating details from the police investigation, witness interviews, and descriptions of surveillance footage.
The subject was also in possession of a woman's bike. AFD on Monday took possession of that bike for safekeeping.
According to the police, surveillance footage reveals the suspect initially arriving on the University of Texas at Austin campus and attempting to open the doors of a parked van. Failing in his attempt, he subsequently left the scene on a bicycle. Meanwhile, Weiser had made a phone call to a friend, notifying them that she was on her way back to her dormitory after her class concluded at the F. Lauren Winship Drama Building. As per the affidavit, the suspect revisited the location where the van was parked. Surveillance footage illustrates a woman dressed entirely in black walking towards the Alumni Center while checking her cell phone. As she passes, the suspect observes her, places the kickstand down on his bike, and is then observed reaching into the back of his pants, retrieving a shiny, rigid object. Subsequently, he follows the woman across the bridge and onto the sidewalk that extends behind the Alumni Center, running along the west bank of Waller Creek, according to the affidavit. According to the affidavit, surveillance footage purportedly depicts the suspect walking alongside the bike with a slight limp, suggestive of an injury to his left leg. Additionally, the video shows the suspect carrying an extra bag that was not observed in earlier footage. Following a response from the Austin Fire Department to an abandoned building, where a young black male was discovered burning items, Austin police were summoned to the scene. The individual, identified as a 17-year-old homeless male, had the bike taken into safekeeping by fire officials after the fire was extinguished.
Her body found in a creek on campus in April of that year. The suspect, now convicted of her murder, faces life in prison.
The police, having seized several bags and a backpack from him, transported the teen to LifeWorks, a youth shelter. Haruka Weiser was reported missing to university police when she failed to attend her Monday morning classes. According to information provided by her roommate and friends, she was last seen wearing a long-sleeve black turtleneck shirt, black pants, and Doc Martens shoes. Her roommate mentioned that she was carrying a blue duffel bag containing her MacBook computer, an iPhone 6, school materials, and an additional jacket. Despite a search conducted by university police in Waller Creek, they were unable to locate her. Gregory L. Fems, in conjunction with the Austin Police Department, conducted a press conference. Fems shared a statement from Weiser's family, characterizing her attack as unthinkable brutality. During the conference, Austin Police Department Chief Troy Gay presented surveillance video featuring a suspect observed on campus Sunday night, seeking the public's assistance in identifying him. Following the release of the suspect's surveillance video by the Austin Police Department, Austin Fire Department Captain David Leonard contacted investigators to relay information about the incident involving the 17-year-old found burning items in an abandoned building. Kreiner was subsequently arrested at LifeWorks on suspicion of tampering with evidence. Prior to this, detectives revisited the abandoned building, discovering a burned notebook with college-level coursework and a small-sized Doc Martens shoe. The affidavit noted the recovery of an article of evidence that matched the same texture, age, and appearance of an article seized on or near the victim's body. The Austin Police Department conducted a press conference where they announced that Michael Kreiner had been taken into custody and charged with first-degree felony murder. As of now, he is being held on a $1 million bond. On the sixth day of testimony in the capital murder trial of the individual accused of killing a University of Texas at Austin student in 2016, the suspect took the stand to discuss his troubled childhood and tell his story.
She says Kreiner left the house, but once school finished that day, she became panicky because he was always at the same spot after school waiting for her, but this time he was not.
After the trial was curtailed on Tuesday, the court proceedings resumed on Wednesday with the presentation of a document authored by the suspect. The document indicated it was intended for individuals interested in stories about sexual violence. When Michael Kreiner was arrested at the Austin shelter where he was residing in 2016, investigators discovered a tablet in his possession. Prosecutors and the defense engaged in a back-and-forth debate regarding the tablet and its potential connection to someone using it on the night Haruka Weiser was killed. During the trial on July 18, an investigator presented the document titled "Enchanting Eyes" to the jury. The document contained explicit content and was labeled only for readers who are 18 or older and like stories about sex and rape and blood and family sex and more blood. The investigator identified the creator of the story in the document as Mick Kreiner, and witnesses mentioned that Kreiner has referred to himself as Mick. Additionally, the tablet found in Kreiner's possession contained selfies that appeared to depict him. Before Michael Kreiner took the stand on Wednesday, the judge informed him that he was giving up a valuable right to remain silent. Nevertheless, Kreiner chose to testify. He began by stating, "My mother was a horrible parent," revealing that he had been taken away from her during his childhood. Kreiner testified that Child Protective Services placed him with his grandmother, who subsequently subjected him to physical abuse. After being removed from his grandmother's home, he claimed to have lived with his aunt for a year or two. Throughout Kreiner's testimony, Haruka Weiser's father, present in the courtroom, had his head down and eventually left the courtroom during the testimony. During his testimony, Kreiner mentioned that he began getting into numerous fights during middle school, adding, "I hate violence, so I try to stay away from fighting." He'd also shared that he was enrolled in speech therapy and special needs classes. While recounting his high school experiences, Kreiner laughed and giggled, particularly recalling an incident when he was arrested for stealing a pair of boots from Walmart. Kreiner shared that at the age of 17, while living in a foster home, he decided to hitchhike to Austin. Officer James Walters of the Georgetown Police Department testified that he encountered Kreiner on March 23, 2016, at a Shell station in Georgetown. Walters stated that he offered Kreiner a ride to Austin and mentioned that Kreiner had a knife with him. After taking Kreiner to a hospital, Walters left him with some money and a gift card for food. The next day, according to Kreiner, he began looking for a place to stay. Kreiner chuckled once again as he recounted not thinking to consult a map of Austin when he was confused about his location in the city. "I came across the campus, but I didn't know it was a campus. I thought it was buildings," Kreiner stated as he walked around the University of Texas campus. He mentioned going back to sleep at the garage near the hospital that night. The following day, Kreiner returned to campus, where he discovered the University of Texas storage room in the football stadium. Describing the storage room, he said, "The place looked like nobody had been there for a long while." Kreiner noted a few boxes and a pink lunchbox inside. He explained that he slept in the storage room that night. Kreiner expressed that he expected someone to evict him from the storage room the following morning. Attempting to connect his phone to Wi-Fi, he realized he was at a school when he saw the Wi-Fi name. Kreiner recounted leaving the storage room to search for food and discovering some bags, a basket, a pair of shoes, and some ropes. Regarding the ropes, he commented, "I kept those because I was going to use those to lock the door." Kreiner remembered being ousted from the storage room by two men, leaving behind two of his bags and his glasses. That night, he mentioned discovering the vacant medical arts building. Excitedly, Kreiner explained how he broke the window to gain access to the building. Inside, he found two bikes, one he deemed too small, but he took it nonetheless, intending to sell it to someone. The other bike, he described as black with brakes that didn't work. Kreiner mentioned that each day, he went to the hospital to download videos on his phone before returning to the vacant building. On Sunday, April 3rd, the day Haruka Weiser died, he claimed to have obtained job applications from two places, including the hospital. While searching through a dumpster, Kreiner said 2 individuals attempted to mug him. "I have this huge blade," he said, suggesting that the presence of the blade made the 2 people hesitate. Kreiner explained that he then got on the bike and returned to the vacant building. Kreiner proceeded to recount his day on Monday, April 4th, expressing that was supposed to be a good day. He mentioned finding a bike and some trash bags. In his search, Kreiner claimed to have discovered 3 bags, a black one, a yellow one, and a blue one, along with some clothes and a jacket. Inside these bags, he stated finding various items, including condoms, gloves, ropes, clothes, a single shoe, and a laptop. Prosecutors previously asserted that the blue bag, the laptop, and the shoe all belonged to Weiser. Kreiner acknowledged finding the red bike on April 4, which was still presented in the courtroom as evidence. He also mentioned discovering a shoe, stating, "I just threw it to the side." According to Kreiner, the shoe landed in a fire pit he had created. Reflecting on the incident, he remarked, "At first, I didn't notice, but yeah, it landed halfway in the fire. I didn't notice until the smoke started turning black." Kreiner recounted finding a phone, but it wouldn't turn on and didn't match his chargers. Attempting to retrieve the SIM card by pulling the back off proved unsuccessful, so he resorted to trying to smash the phone. When the SIM card didn't fit his phone, Kreiner claimed he threw both the phone and the SIM card into the fire. Kreiner then recollected the encounter with the firefighters and police, who had previously testified in court on day 3 of the trial. He went on to describe how the police took him to the youth shelter, LifeWorks, where he stayed for a few days. Kreiner explained that he was attempting to obtain a bus pass to return to his belongings at the vacant building, but he had to wait at least 3 or 4 days. Following that, Kreiner discussed being arrested at the shelter. He expressed, "I know I'm in jail and all, but that was the most awesome thing that ever happened to me," recounting his arrest.
Laughter heard again from the stand when he was kicked out of the UT storage room, and Kreiner laughed once more.
When the defense asked, "Mick, did you kill Haruka Weiser?" Kreiner replied, "No, sir." Kreiner stated that he did not encounter anyone wearing all black on Sunday night, and he did not have the red bike at that time. The defense also raised the issue of the glasses found at the crime scene. Kreiner acknowledged that the glasses looked similar to his, but claimed they were too small and pointed out that his glasses would have bite marks on the ends. After a short recess, the prosecution began questioning Kreiner. They presented a journal to the court, which Kreiner identified as having his handwriting. The contents of the journal were sexual and graphic in nature. The prosecution read a passage titled "Therapy Gone Wrong," vividly depicting a rape scenario in which the woman screamed for help multiple times. "You want us to keep reading this, don't you?" prosecutors asked Kreiner. "I'm just trying to figure you out," Kreiner replied. The graphic nature of the writing reportedly caused people in the courtroom to cringe. Kreiner admitted that he drew inspiration from watching porn for his stories. When prosecutors summarized, "So all we have to decide is if you're the person who did it," Kreiner replied, "Pretty much, but I don't like my odds." The decision of the court left State District Judge David Wahlberg with the task of sentencing Kreiner to life in prison. Since Kreiner was 17 at the time of the murder, he is not eligible for the death penalty. However, he is eligible for parole after serving 40 years.
Kreiner is charged with capital murder and is also suspected of sexually assaulting Weiser. He's pleaded not guilty to that charge.
According to KXAN, Haruka Weiser's father stated, "Haruka did not choose to sacrifice herself. You made that choice for her, but she did not die in vain. We will never know how many lives she saved through the events of her death." He continued expressing, "I wish she was still here where I could see her, but I do find comfort in knowing that she helped stop a serial killer in his tracks."
What are your thoughts on today's case? Share them in the comments. Hit the like button and subscribe for more intriguing stories. See you in our next video.